is what we call
hater shit.
There is no better term.
But Christmas is coming up, you guys, and I need ideas. I know what I want to get my 3 children. I need ideas for like getting various gifts. Like, I have no mailing address, so if I order anything online, which is what all the kids want nowadays, Christmas if I don't get to decorate it and put a huge bow on it. Or maybe not even a bow, just decoration and a ribbon. Or maybe not even a ribbon, just a wrapping paper that's pretty with Christmas theme on it, you know? That's part of the fun. That's at least half the fun, you know? Maybe not half, a quarter of the fun. So, I don't know, I'm figuring it out. I'm trying to figure it all out. Xavier is making beats and music on his keyboard. And I don't find it distracting at all. I think it's great.
Thank you. It switches back to Grand Panama.
That's awesome, babe. Great job. Neither St. Joseph's nor Northwestern has allowed me to have my prenatal lab work drawn. So put that on the record, please. Someone put that on the record. If you guys are not followers of Insta, that's where I keep all of the documentation for all the stuff that's been going on. And I'm really interested in downloading the movie Maleficent with Angelina Jolie. I just read a really enticing article that she was interviewed and saying, like, Hollywood is so unhealthy. It's so bad for anyone. Like, there is no one who can live a healthy lifestyle and operate functionally in Hollywood if it looks like they are. They're lying.
Well, no shit.
And so I'm trying to kind of navigate how can I put this? In the small piece of Hollywood that I've been exposed to, would agree. Just the reality portion, the reality producing portion, and the reality TV actress portion, very unhealthy. Very, very unhealthy. But with the internet and Netflix and Hulu and all of this competition and all of these productions, as you scale the number of productions that are coming out, the opportunity also scales. So where old Hollywood was so exclusive, there were like 5 directors that anyone was talking about at any given time that would get screen time, right? And so you would have to kiss their ass or be incentivized by them. Not always. I'm sure there were some morally and ethically inclined people, but in fashion and music and movies, before all of this success and fame from influencers and media independently, there were these power and control people from Hollywood who decided, like, who was the who's who, and what stories would be published and talked about and focused on. So it's like, what are we doing better taking that away? Was there a reason that we didn't understand or see that certain storylines were being communicated to the general public? You know, there's just so many questions I have in reading an article like that. She just literally said, like, I don't want to stop as an actor, as an actress. She's like, I just did voiceovers for Disney movies, Kung Fu Panda 4 and one other one. She spoke about Maleficent and Maleficent's sequel. And she spoke about a few other movies that were not that popular. And just basically, it seems like Hollywood, just like the rest of the world, is evolving into a space where there's far more opportunity. And so people are creating their own niche and telling their own stories, whether others want to hear them or not. And I kind of respect it, you know. That's my whole concept, GoPro Solo entertainment. It's all about not letting someone else tell you who you are. For those of you who have heard in the past, I speak about, I think it's called a metaphor. It might be an analogy where I say, like, the best advice I can give, and I can't always follow it 100% of the time, but I try to as much as humanly possible, like 89, 91, 93% of the time, 99% some days, to follow myself. on so that this law enforcement car passes so loud. What was I saying, you guys? Oh yeah, my number one piece of advice that I would give for how I've not literally killed myself so far, experiencing the things that I've experienced, because they're very unique and they're very extreme. Not many people get sent away at the age of 14 to a foreign country without any notice or warning or explanation and left there for a year. Most people don't have that story, and I've got a lot of stories that are like that. That are like, what? You did what? She did what? They did what to you? So the number one piece of advice that I can offer you guys right now as to how I try to stay as positive as possible and don't end up trying to murder someone or myself is I always say I think this is an analogy, maybe it's a metaphor, keep your feet cemented into the ground of who you are, not where you are, of who you are at your core. We always evolve. Allow yourself to evolve. It's like if you guys know those little bozo clown guys that have the weight at the bottom, and you punch them in the face and they can swing all around like a 360. Allow your life to evolve, explore, see what you like, be who you are, even if who you are right now and what you're experiencing right now is not what you're experiencing tomorrow. For the most part, our morals and values, they don't change. If we were raised with manners and love, then that's what we provide until we're so saturated that we can't. And that's the challenge that I'm experiencing, is when I reach that point of saturation for abuse that I've endured, making sure that the energy I'm projecting is also the energy that I'm protecting, which is my own. Not allowing the energy of the person, place, or thing that is causing my energy to become different, variable, reactive even, to be projected onto the outside world past that interaction. Obviously, I'm still evolving, as we all are. It's a forever process, but that's what I'm dealing with right now, and that's what I'm trying to focus on. I'm about to have a baby. I am being held in a tent unlawfully going into month 12 or 11. 10.
Over a year.
No, it's not over a year, because a year ago I was living in an Airbnb. You guys probably know me from reality show Love After Lockup. I did not really like doing that show. They did not depict me normally. My entire life prior to that show, I've never lived in a tent. I don't have drug issues or reality star performance issues or things of that nature. I'm not mentally unstable. I have been very reactive and volatile to a lot of abuse, but as I said, the situations I've faced have been incredibly extreme, not at all common. It's just wild for me. So I was paying for our Airbnbs last year. Xavier's father helped us with a couple of Airbnbs last year. The year before that, I was living in Airbnb all on my own, and for 4 months I had my own apartment at Montclair, and they were nice Airbnbs, you guys. I was getting paid $2,000 per episode, plus a couple of promo checks in between, driving DoorDash full time. I was hustling, selling waist trainers, selling glasses, doing stuff online, like fitness and personal training and content and website copy and cleaning commercially and cleaning residentially and just all sorts of shit. I was taking advantage of every opportunity that I could financially. I was hustling. And I have 3 children, as you guys all know, who have lived with me full time their entire lives prior to being held out in this fucking tent. It's terrible. But at the end of the day, I am hopeful. I do know that this can't last forever. This cannot go on forever. But it is very anxiety producing that I'm about to have a baby. And I love my children more than anything, including my unborn baby. He moves to the sound of my voice. He responds to me. I've always been moving around every day during my pregnancy. But when you lay down for a while and rest your body, you notice more. So his movements, I notice. And when I change the lighting in the room that I am, or I like lay in a different position, he responds and reacts to that. And we're forming and building a relationship, just like I did with each of my other 3 children. The relationship with mother to child begins now, not when the baby's born. It begins now. Some say it begins the moment of conception, but it's very anxiety producing to not know where we're going to live and not be able to understand why the city has not responded to all of the requests for shelter assistance. I am a tax-paying citizen and have been since I was 14. I'm 36 years old, you guys. That means I've been paying taxes in this country for longer than some of you are even alive. And they're not helping me with shelter. So my kids are, I think I don't know what generations they are. My kids are 10, 15, and 17, whatever generations those are. So I used to be a real cool mom. I used to know all the cool words and stuff to say. Now, I don't really know that much about the cool stuff. I have to use Urban Dictionary a lot. So that's all. GoPro solo kids. To be honest, people who have known her 4 years ago to come here. Thank you. Oh my God. Thank you so much. It's so sweet. Yeah. There's a lot of haters for no reason. I think that they're trying to build the profiles for multiple people who have done me wrong in the past, so that they can use them for business reasons or publicity reasons or whatever their reasoning is. And so they create like this propaganda that I have turmoil or chaos or drama with people who I haven't even like seen or known since like 2015. But then, you guys, the worst part is they'll make it an issue in real life. So I have to on those days, today somebody was trying to hit Xavier off of his bike with their car. So we have to stay in the tent, and he's very protective. He's like, when these bad things are happening outside of the tent, when they're intentionally doing stuff to make you so upset that you're contracting and trying to run me off the road with cars, on a bicycle, we have to just stay in the tent, so we're trying to just really take it easy. But like I said, it's incredibly anxiety producing. And for every one of you who defends my situation and who's actually been listening and watching, thank you, because I really think it's going to be Gen Z and beyond. What's that Gen that was born, the 10-year-old generation? My daughter is 10 years old, and I think my youngest, and I think that that's the generation that really is going to cause the greatest impact. And I don't think that means we're going to wait until they get older to do so. I think that their responses, because of the ages that they are and the way that our behaviors and the 20-year-olds' behaviors are affecting these younger generations, there's going to be an urgent push for evolution and for reform, not in a restrictive sense where it's oh my God, this is so oppressive, but in a really free thinking and free will kind of way. I think that that's going to be the way of the future, to really find out what the person loves and nurture that. I think that's going to be the way society begins to play in general. I think that that's going to be what it is. I don't think that my generation or the Gen Zers have the ability at this point. We in those generations have the ability to reel it in. And what I mean by that, let me go back to the cement your feet into who you are. You, no matter what path in life that we're exploring, career, sexuality, humanities, fashion, whatever you use to identify yourself. It doesn't have to be gender. I'm so sick of that being the only conversation. I respect it, and I respect people who have their choices and all of that, but we don't need to make that the center of who we are. For some people, they do. So in addition to how you identify sexually, there are going to be major pushes for how we identify in business, how we identify in social relationships that are not sexual, etc., and so forth. And I think, like I said, the effect and impact of what we've done in a laughing sense the mistakes that we've made, not even analyzing, but pointing out the mistakes we've made and the way we've treated each other, that's going to be what creates the change for Gen Z and beyond. You know, that's going to be what allows us to say, we know all this stuff was working. We can pat ourselves on the back and say we're doing excellent here, and there, but then we need to spend an equal amount of time pointing out where we're going wrong and strategizing on how to go right. So if someone is walking by, a homeless person in the park, and I'm not talking about myself, but let's say like a high one or a dirty one or a drugged out one or like a smelly one or whatever, we're gonna want to come up with solutions for how to address that in a way that's humane, in a way that doesn't suck us dry financially, in a way that doesn't put an unnecessary burden on society, in a way that allows that dirty, smelly person laying on the floor outside, cold and probably hungry, access to the same opportunities that you or I would want to have. You know, what a fucking dream, right? What a dream come true. So that's what I'm focusing on, and that's what I think that all of the people who are going anywhere in this life are focusing on. You always have to ask yourself, are you the person when it comes to evolution and revolution? And what do I mean by revolution? Making those impactful changes, specifically in how we treat each other. I don't care if you're white. I don't care if you're black. I don't care if you're brown. I don't care if you're Chinese. I don't care if you're Korean. I don't care if you're spicy from Argentina. I don't care if you're Chilean. I don't care if you're Peruvian. I don't care if you're Mexican. I don't care. It does not matter. Asian, Australian, European, we can keep going forever. At our core, we all want the same thing. And that's not to be treated like shit, to be respected and appreciated, and to have access to all of the opportunities that make us happy. It doesn't matter what your color of skin is. Usually, if a nice smelling candle is lit and there are cookies sitting out that everyone could have one, and you can sit down and have a positive, meaningful conversation, you'll enjoy that no matter your poverty level, level of income for being rich. What's the opposite of poverty level?
Something Commonwealth.
No, that's not it. Well, whatever. You could be poor, you could be rich, and you could be in between. There are certain experiences that we are all deserving of. So that's what we've been working on. Is statement art. That's what I call statement modeling. The photo shoots that I curate and the coffee table book that I'm coming out with. That's what that is. Have you guys been using TikTok Shop? What do you guys think about TikTok Shop? Is this a direct connection to Alibaba? Like, is Alibaba the supplier on most of this, or what's going on? Because I've seen a lot of different products, and I've only ordered one, and I saw that the shipping on one product was $21 on a $6 item. Two products, I'm sorry, that are lightweight. And I was wondering, are they doing all of this through
How do you forget your other child?
Alibaba? Are they doing all this through Alibaba? Like, is there a direct connection? Is there a drop shipping integration? Can I build my own TikTok shop with a direct integration of drop shipping products from Alibaba and then just handle my own marketing? Does anyone know anything about that on TikTok? What can be done? Anyone here capable of productive business-like conversation, or do we just have nothing but haters in the audience? Okay, see, that tells me a lot about my audience, and I don't know what to do about that. I need a strategist with regards to TikTok, because I'm definitely a social media person. I know what works and what doesn't. TikTok is still very new to me, no matter how much I use it. I don't know how to really understand and isolate the following I'm getting. I don't want to get a following of nothing but hate. You know what I mean? And I wonder, what am I doing that's contributing to that following? Because there are days I come on here and there are people who are ready to work. There are people who are productive. There are people who like to engage in conversation that is productive, that can drive income for lots of people. I have a lot of friends and family who are not so technologically as inclined as I am, and I'm really not that technologically inclined. I'm basically like a professional starter. You know what I mean? I don't know how to hack. I don't know how to access various methods of security, but I know that they exist. So my level of education is probably higher than the average person's in technology, but I'm not a professional, meaning I cannot actually perform these tasks. Like I'm a professional novice at knowing what's available technologically, but I'm not a tech worker. You know, I would need to hire a team. So that's kind of what I'm looking for. If you're following me, you might want to unfollow if you're not capable of engaging in conversation that's productive, not just for business, but for society, for us as individuals, us as parents, us as human beings. That's really the only thing that I'm here for. And again, as I've asked so kindly numerous times, if you are here for any other reason, please just unfollow and take that shit elsewhere. But Xavier and I are going to go back to what we were doing. I just wanted to check in with you guys and let you know it's been the same nightmare here in Chicago. Northwestern is one of the most prestigious healthcare institutions in the world, in my opinion. And then you also have St. Joseph, St. Mary's, and numerous other health systems. Amida, Ascension. I've gone to numerous. They're all giving me a really hard time about having labs drawn for my baby. So I'm just, I feel him moving. I know that he's healthy. I've gone now 7 times to have my prenatal labs drawn. I have the lab orders in my hand, and they refuse to accept them when we arrive. So
He saw the look.
that's lawsuit in itself, and I'm trying to get my mind in a space where I don't think about banking on lawsuits. And as soon as I get there mentally, we go to Mariano's yesterday, or where did we go yesterday that it came on TV about that lawsuit?
I think it was at the hospital.
We might have been at Northwestern for the labs. Yeah, it was, I think. And this man gets on there, and he's like an older Arabic man, and he's like, I'm suing so-and-so because, and he's dead ass, like serious, like super fucking serious, dead ass. He's like, I'm suing blah, blah, blah because she was dangerously close to me on the ski slopes.
Gwyneth Paltrow.
Suing Gwyneth Paltrow, right. Causing like this, you know, sort of hazardous condition because she was too close to me and this and this and that. And I'm sitting there listening like, I'm being held outside in a tent and prevented shelter, and I'm pregnant, and I could have been impregnated as a result of rape, and I'm being separated from my children unlawfully, and I filed 7 petitions at the court system to see a judge over the past 4 years, and they don't allow me to see one, and I filed hundreds of police reports, and I would love to sue all of the people involved. How is it possible to sue over being too close on a ski slope, but it's not possible to sue over what I'm experiencing? Social justice. All right, you guys. Love you so much. Have a great night.